Alright guys, welcome to Agents of Bolas. This is Agent Riley, and this is a tech of one of my commander decks. Actually, I recently just built it. It's Sapling of Colfnor. Our plans may yet bear fruit. Now, this deck specifically, she reads Sapling of Colfnor is indestructible. Whenever she attacks, reveal the top card of your library, and if it's a creature card, you gain life equal to the creature's toughness and lose life equal to its power, then put it into your hand. So, with this deck, I didn't want to go the Tree Folk route, so I just kind of went Golgari fun stuff and just survival of the fittest stuff, things like that. So I'm just going to show you, starting off with the creatures of this deck. I've got Creekwood Liege. He's just good for lording creatures and putting some boys into play. Deadwood Tree Folk, you can recur him, he gives you back creatures, and he's actually really good because he has a big butt, so he'll gain you some life. Found a Shaman, just because, like I said, this is a survival deck, so I want to search for some creatures and throw them in my graveyard. Tree of Redemption, this is just a big boy 0/13, and you can just make him even bigger. So gaining that 13 life off of him, even just having that draw is just great. Catacomb Shifter, just because whenever a creature dies, you get to scry, and when he comes in, he immediately makes a boy, and he's a 2/3, so you still gain life. Genesis Hydrant is just so you can shift through your cards, and just if you need something big. Silverglass Spire, just to get rid of some flyers, and he's a big boy, 2/7, and he's really good. Sidisi Undead Vizier, just abusing the token makers in this deck. You can go search her out just so you can tutor for any card in your library, and she's reoccurring, so you can just keep coming back. Erebos, God of the Dead, just for some draw and make sure that they're staying on the same level as you as far as the board presence and not getting a shit ton of life. We've got Phyrexian Soulgorger, my favorite card. What can I say? Just a great sack outlet, and it's an 8/8 for 3. And then Verdaloth the Ancient, big ass, and it lords your Tree Folks and Sapling. And Sapling of Colfnor obviously is a Tree Folk, and he just makes boys when he comes into play. So he's just pretty good for a late game. And then Ukatabi Orangutan, just because I like it. This is just kind of a flavor deck for me too. Just throwing all my favorite Golgari cards in there, and he's just good removal for artifacts, recurring. Grave Titan, just because he comes in, he's just solid card. You guys know just Grave Titan. Ukatabi Kong, just to come in with Ukatabi Orangutan and make some apes, and then these are my ape tokens, just so you guys know. Now Genesis, just so I can foil promo Genesis, just so I can when I can throw them into my graveyard with survival, and then reoccurring people, like I said, like Sidisi and all those other people. Woodfall Primus, just really good removal, and he's a Tree Folk, so it comes into play just recurring him and destroying permanents. Biogenic Ooze, just because it is actually a card that I've wanted to play with for a while, and it's really good, just token creators. Vizier the Madry helps you when you're trying to get that flip over with Sapling, and he mana fixes you too. Nylea, God of the Hunt, just so you can just run through them, just so they have trample. Wild Blossoms, what can I say? He's just a good card. Then we got Throne the Last Troll. Now I want to throw him in here just because he's a really flavorful card, and I just really like him. No reason to really why I threw him in here. Brown, just because I can throw him in my graveyard. He's a Golgari deck. Corrosion the Guild Mage, just because I have creatures with big asses and I get more boys based off of them. Corsair Crewfix, just so I can have that manipulating the top card of my library. Igra Shidiki the Usurper, just so that I can gain life based on bigger asses. Azani 1009, bigger ass, just more throwing stuff in my graveyard stuff. Bloodline Keeper, just for some flying defense and making guys, is really good. Eternal Witness, just because you can get any card you want back to your hand. And there's actually some really important enchantments in this deck that really help support it. Deathrite Shaman, just so that when you destroy all their stuff, or you can exile your own stuff if you really need to get benefits. And he's a 1/2. Grigori Finebroker, 3/4, just same thing as Eternal Witness, having another one is good. Acidic Slime, full promo just because it's just a good one, reoccurring, has Death Touch. Harmonize, just to draw 3 cards, very good. Diabolic Tutor, tutoring. Decree of Pay, just a good mass removal and drawing cards. Black Sun Zenith, just so you can get rid of any type of pesky and destructible stuff, and just good ward removal. And I really like the promo. Primal Command, just because I love a lot of options, and you can search your library for creatures, which is kind of the whole basis of this deck. Explosive Vegetation, Land Ramp, Green Sun Zenith, searching. Cultivate, just Land Ramp. Assault Formation, big asses, and then make it to where those big asses can hurt them. Survival of the Fittest, still just that, discarding a card and, discard creature card, searching library for creatures, things like that on the stick. Gift of the Deity. Now this works specifically well with Sapling of Colfnor just because it is indestructible. So it has Death Touch and it has a lure effect, so that way you can get rid of somebody else's board when you attack with her, and it's just really, really good combination. Miri's Guile, just to manipulate the top card of your library so you can get that life. Whip of Erebos, just so you can have that whip effect, and the life link really, really, really helps with this deck. Phyrexian Arena, what can I say? It's the best artwork for Phyrexian Arena 2. Phyrexian Reclamation, again bringing back stuff from the graveyard. That's all this. It's Golgari stuff. Into the Wilds, which is a very cool card that I found, and not too many people know about. It's a good budget option. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. So again, manipulating the top card of your library, very, very important. From Beyond, very good at putting boys into play. Perilous Forays, getting that mana ramp and having a sack out on the stick. Sanguine Bond, just because you're going to be gaining a bunch of life, you want them to actually hurt because you're gaining that benefit. Primeval Manti, just because it's so good with this, it's just such a good green card and really just makes your board overwhelming. Awakening Zone, just so you can get the extra mana ramp and creatures. Now, Phyrexian Etchings, this card I actually found. It's cumulative upkeep of a black, and at the end of your turn, draw a card for each age counter on it, and then you lose 2 if it goes into the graveyard for each age counter of it. Now, specifically, I like this card just because it gives you a bunch of draw, and it's very cheap when it comes to actual money-wise. Corrosion Grip. Now, specifically, Corrosion Grip, obviously, Commander staple. Death Sprout. Now, this is actually a new card I really like, and you just, search your library for its rampant growth with a destroy effect. Go for the Throat promo. We all know what Go for the Throat is. Putrefy. Now destroy target artifact or creature. Just very good. Beast from Within. Just good up removal. Thran Dynamo. We've got Birthing Pod, which is again another survival in this deck, and just really abusing the creatures. Carnage Altar, really good draw. Well, Lost Dreams, when you're gaining that life, and then you're drawing all those cards. Lifecrafter's Bestiary, drawing those cards, and you can scribe one, which is very important with this deck, because again, manipulating the top card of your library. Nixilis Reunited, just because you have a Phyrexian Arena effect and a Destroy effect, and his ult wasn't really something that I really wanted in this, that it was needed, but still just a really good card. And then for the lands, I only had 4 non-basics. I know that some people don't really like that, but I've got Oran Reef of the Vastwood, just because a lot of boys are going to be coming into play. Llanowar Reborn, just good, just to make a guy a little bit bigger. Jungle Hollow, and then Golgari Guildgate, and then the rest is basics. So that is the Sapling of Colfnor deck tech.